Good morning. Sunday. Actually, it's afternoon. Sunday afternoon here. We are getting ready to combine some beans. So yesterday I was down here, thought we were going to go yesterday, but we had a really heavy fog and things were just hanging a little bit wet. Probably could have started combining 5-6 o'clock last night and gotten some done, but we sort of came to the realization that the elevators that we're going to haul to were closed this weekend, yesterday and today, and so we'd get full of wet beans pretty quickly, and we wouldn't have been able to do much today if we had run yesterday, so we thought we might as well give them an extra day to dry out. We had fog this morning too. They're not dry yet. We're going to need to give them an hour or 2 or 3, but we're going to go today. The neighbor across the road ran at some point yesterday after I left, so I don't know what they were, but they ran some. Another one up the road here ran some. They just need a little time. We got nice sunshine today. We're gonna go. All right, sun's shining. We're being patient, but I'm ready to move. I think we're gonna take the combine over and open the field up, and we'll see where they're at, and we can wait over there if we have to. Oh, let's do this. Finally, harvest 23. Time to go. All right, so we're gonna start in this field, but the beans across the road and across the road are all ours. There's another little piece down there. Oh, there's my head. Wait, Dad had to go around the block to get facing the right direction so we can get hooked up here. So we'll get this hooked up. Let me get comfortable, and then I'll keep you guys updated. Underway, harvest 23. We've got to start. We did some end rows here. We're gonna shut stuff off here for a second because we gotta unhook the header cart, go back. We're gonna get the grain cart. We'll get a truck over here, let the beans continue to air out a little bit. It says they're like 17%, so it's a little wet. I am gonna grab a bag full out of the grain tank. We'll take them back around through the moisture tester and see how close that is. But yeah, if the ends are an indication, they're really good beans. If our combine is anywhere close to accurate and the ends are an indication, they're really good beans. So we will see. We got a long ways to go before deciding whether the beans are as good as the combine thinks that they are, but it thinks they're running 70, so that's fantastic. I'm gonna reach in our little grain tank trap door here, fill up my bag so we can take them back and run them in the moisture tester. Two-hand job, I think. We got to get out in the field and then open up and get stuff adjusted exactly where we want it. But initial indications are that losses are really good. I got one bean right there. I had a couple over here, but very low. I have to look up the number on beans per square foot to equal a bushel of loss, but it's not a ton. It's more than 2. 15-1. The moisture tester says 15-1, not 16-8. They're drier than we thought. It's go time. All right, well, we got our cart here. Phil's bringing a truck. We gotta clean up our sample just a little. They're not terrible, but we can get some of them pods out of there. Just getting rolling here. It's gonna take a little bit to get everything dialed in, but let's go. First thing I'm gonna do is pull a point of moisture out. It said those were 16.7 average for the field, and then it tested 15.1. Now I don't know how representative the sample that I pulled out of there was, so we aren't going to go the whole amount, but if I can figure out how to do this, correction, we have a +2. We're going to change that to +1. Nope, not -1. +1. That should get us a little closer anyway. Let's go, baby! Let's go. Oh, it's so good to be back at the combine. All right. We got to get settled in, like I said, like I keep saying. But everything seems to be working really good. Beans are feeding nice. Head's working good. Draper belts are working good. That's some of the things you watch for when you're first starting. The yield loss monitor shows nothing, but we'll have to verify that. We've got beans in the tank. They look pretty good. Few unthreshed pods, so we might tighten our concave up a little bit. Just makes a few minor adjustments to dial it in, and then once we get that done, we can start working on our cameras. I can show you those If I hit Combine Advisor and I hit live camera, you can see our cameras. Let's just show the grain. That's what the camera in the clean grain elevator is seeing. You can see we got some broken grain. I don't like seeing that. Really nice picture though. Tailings shows nothing. Do we have nothing in our tailings? Must have nothing in our tailings. So we need to do some adjustment. It would appear I'm gonna have a problem. We're a long ways from the end down there. I don't have a grain cart driver today, and I'm not gonna be able to make rounds, which is amazing. Now I did do a little bit of end rows, but just between me and that building, like they were pretty short end rows. So this will be interesting. That is a very, very good problem to have. If we can't make rounds because the beans are that good, that's a sigh of relief right there. What do you think? Can we cab beans it on the first round? First grain tank? She's full. Very slowly and carefully proceed to our grain cart. I noticed that I had a trail behind me of some ragged cut beans, trying to figure out what was causing it, and right down there in the center, we're missing a tooth. Gotta go take a look. I checked these before we started. They were good when we started. Right there. Looks like a loose bolt more than a, well, no, it broke out of there. Or potentially a bolt came loose and then the other one broke. But we're missing one. It's a pain to one to take apart too. So let's see if I got the right one. I'll get some tools. Just when we started getting rolling. I do not have the knife that goes on there. Let me show you what I am talking about. Got another loose one too. So the vast majority of them are this style with the nuts on top. But in the center here, these knives overlap. And so they use these different style. See that? That's loose. That's not good. That's our problem. And so the hole in the knife section is chamfered. It's different to fit except the heads of those screws. I don't have any of this style knife or these bolts on hand in my toolbox. However, we have an entire spare knife on this head. It is in this tube here from both sides. I do not have an extension for my half-inch ratchet to be able to get that. I can't get on it. Dad's bringing me one. Farm's 2 miles from here, so it's not a big deal. It's just kind of frustrating. So anyway, we're gonna take this apart, tighten up what we can, see what we got to get, but I'm pretty sure that the part that I need to replace this knife is in there. I'm stealing some off of this piece. You can see the chamfered holes there, the different style bolts. Got her back together. Took a little bit, it's fine, no big deal. So the grain cart is not full, but it's close. However, Phil, I think, is going to haul a load in. One of the elevators is open today, it turns out. And so I'm going to fill the cart so that we can fill the truck in one dump and do a calibration load on it to make sure that we're start getting our yield dialed in where we think it should be. That's what we're doing. See that trail over there? That's where I noticed there was a problem. So then I started looking for it. Now, Phil planted on an angle here, so the rows are running this way. We're combining this way. I'm straight with the edge of the field. The beans are planted on an angle, so now we're kind of working across them. And so even if we have one knife that's missing like that, it's only going to hit every so often when it's right on that row, and it's not really the end of the world. And you can see that in the next pass here, how like right there's a spot, and then there, and it just kind of every 7,500 feet down the field, it missed a few pieces of bean, or a few plants of beans. I don't want to do that. That's why we fixed it, but it's not the end of the world. So we do need to look a little bit more outside. I have been dialing in my settings. I had my concave way too tight, so we've opened that up, got the stuff where I want. I calibrated the yield loss monitor, so now it thinks that it's throwing some out. I don't know that it is. Actually, it thinks that it's running right, perfect. But until we get out and verify that, we don't know. And its sensitivity is way down. Like, let's see, how do I get to that? 4. I think that usually runs at like 30, 35. And the higher the number, the lower the bars are going to be up there. That's the grain loss monitor. And so a 4, like, there's nothing coming out the back of this combine. Well, that was my first chance at a whole round without doing any endros. We didn't make it. Close, but we didn't make it. So we'll back out of here. But we can either do this every time, or we take a couple more passes ends off to be able to make the round, or I find a grain cart operator, which is unlikely to happen today. Although Phil's here, he's going to haul a load in, getting his truck empty. Alright, well, I got Phil loaded up there, and I gotta wait for what we put on that truck. We'll see what the elevator says and compare, and then we'll know how close the grain cart is, and then we can compare the grain cart to the combine, and we'll know how close the combine is. But these are not 50 bushel beans. They're much, much better than that, and that is fun. Alright, well, we've got another full grain tank, and we didn't quite make it to the end, but this is a perfect spot to get out and look and see what kind of job we're doing. I've got the combine kind of dialed in a little bit better, I think, so we'll get out and have a look-see. Sit here for a second so the combine doesn't yell at me for too long, and the dust will clear. It does not like it when you get out of the seat with the combine still turning. Case in point. Nope, did I make it? Oh, we made it. Alright, so what we're going to do, usually it honks if you get out of the seat, but we're going to walk back here a little bit to where we were running full speed before I started to slow down, kind of right behind the combine, and we're going to move some residue out of the way and see how many beans we've got. In a 1 foot by 1 foot square, you need 3 beans to equal 1 bushel loss per acre. So as long as we're like 1 or 2, 3 at the most, we're okay. Now this is more than 1 square foot, right? By quite a bit, because our rows are 15 inches from here to here. So that's more than a foot, and we're more this way than that way. But in this area, I see 2. Three. We got 1, 2, 3. And that's in, I'm going to call it 2 square feet. So we're looking at a half a bushel loss to the acre. I will take that. That is fine. We're good. Something else we can check. So right here's our tire tracks, right? If you look, we can see we're leaving an imprint. If we sort of peel the stuff back in the actual imprint and see whether we have beans like this one, it's laying on top. It's not smushed into the ground. That means it is coming out the back. There's another one. So they're running through the machine and coming out. We can attempt to clean that up, but we just decided it's not a lot. So, but the other thing you can see up here, we don't have any residue spread. So we can look up here and see if we see any beans laying here, it's coming off of the head or before the combine even gets to it. Like this one. And there's very little that I can do about that. Maybe an air bar would help. I don't know. But yeah, that's where a lot of it's coming from. Heck, there's 3 right there. I don't like that. So there's not a ton I can do. We can adjust our header settings a little bit. But yeah, it looks like most of our loss is actually header loss, not combine loss. Now, I was slowing down here. It may not be quite as bad where we're running at speed. Sometimes when you change and slow down like that, it makes the beans bounce around on the cutter bar more. I don't see as much here. There's a couple, but we don't have a lot here. 1 there. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not unreasonable amount of loss, especially for the volume of beans that we're running through the machine here. So we'll keep going. We'll keep toying with stuff, trying to make it better, but overall, we're doing a really good job. But biggest thing that we can change on that with the cutter bar to do a better job there is we can pitch the entire head back and forth. If we angle it down a little bit, we might catch a few more of those. Although, ouch, that thing's in the way. It's not broken pods or stuff that we're cutting, not able to get under them. I was worried about low pod set, making it hard to get all of the beans because they're too low to the ground for the cutter bar to get underneath. It doesn't look like our problem because I don't see pods still on the stubble that's down there, so that's good. So we just unloaded second grain cart load. Phil just got back from dumping that first one, and well, the cart was low. There was almost 2,000 more pounds on the truck than what the grain cart said there was. The grain cart, as of right now, 2 trucks, says that it has unloaded as much as the combine currently says that we have harvested. That cart's not empty. I've got half a grain tank load on the combine yet. These beans are better than the combine says. They are running 80 plus out here. I thought our beans would be decent. I did not expect quite that, so. So I believe this number is about 6,000 pounds low. So that's what, 4%? Yeah, these are good beans. Well, that's gonna make this a lot more fun. It's gonna make this a lot more fun. Do you guys remember last year? All right, you remember this? Last year we had phenomenal corn and beans, right? We had just the best crops that we've ever had on corn and beans by a fair bit. Awesome. Do you remember me saying that we were gonna have to get real good at growing beans real fast because it was gonna be awful to go back to raising 50 bushel beans and combining 50 bushel beans this fall, next year, now? Apparently I did it. I guess I know what I'm doing. No, it rained. That's what happened, is it rained in August. We had good late season rains, and it'll be very interesting to see how consistent this is. I think the beans here, all the beans at Berkey, are gonna consistently be very good. We'll see when we get back to Waldron. We have a lot more disease up there and stuff that's gonna bring them down, but if they're within 20 bushel of what these beans seem to be going, we're in good shape. Here comes Dad. See if I lose my seat and he wants to drive, or if he's just coming for a ride. I could run cart. I'd be all right for a day. Oh, this is fun. Oh, it's a good time. Let me tell you what. Good beans. Oh, back at the combine. It's a good time. All right. Well, Dad rode for a while. He's heading home because there's not much for him to do. And we're going to keep rolling here. We'll finish this field pretty easy tonight. We'll see if we get any more done than that or not. But things are going well. We're up to 42 acres. I think there's 67 here. Pretty close to that. They're still really good beans. They are falling off just a little bit behind the building site here. There's a little more light green than dark green. I do have some strips out here that source, and we are in an untreated spot, but it picks up here in another pass or two. Probably not the sprayer track, the next one. So be interesting to see if we notice anything there. But it'll be pretty hard to pick out on a yield map because 2 bushels doubles your money on that product, and each color is a 10 bushel break there, so chances are we won't notice it. But yeah, still really good beans. This is lots of fun. We're gonna keep rolling right through here. Did I show you guys these cameras working yet? I don't know if I did or not, so if I did already, I'm sorry. You're seeing it twice, but that's how it is. I'm pretty sure I did this. Yeah. You can see our camera. You can see it's highlighting some broken grain, and it is adjusting stuff to maintain that. There's a lot of splits in there. Anything that is blue here is stuff that it is adjusted from what I had it set to it initially, and it has moved pretty much everything on there at some point or another, and just keeps making fine-tune adjustments. So it seems to be working. It's cool. It's doing an acceptable job. Not perfectly clean. We've got a few pods and broken sticks and stuff in there, but that's not anything that's going to cause us problems. The window in the combine always looks worse than it really is because the stuff is light, it floats. So a lot of times the whole back window is covered in pods, and that's when you know it's bad. That's not bad. We're getting to that time at night where that dust is starting to hang and not clear as fast. beans, when the moisture starts setting in, the dew starts setting in, or that fog layer that we've been having the last few days, the beans soak up that moisture, and then we have to quit. It gets tough. We should be able to go for a while yet, at least until the sun is actually down. It's not set yet, but things kind of change instantly as soon as it gets dark. So we'll see. We're gonna get this done. We don't have very far to go. What are we up to? 55, so 10, 12 acres yet. And we're gonna jump across the road, and hopefully we can get 20 acres or something done over there. That'd make tomorrow be a better day if we could get a bunch done over there. So we will see, but we're gonna do what we can. One thing to note here, well, a couple of things. One, our moisture, we're down to 13. They've been drying all day with that sun beating on them, so that's good. That's exactly where we want them. But two, look at the last 3 passes right here. Got some more dark green in it. It's almost like there's a break there from an application, maybe of some source. I don't know. It's pretty darn close to where the application break was, so it's impossible to tell without sitting down on a computer and highlighting areas out and really comparing it, but it sure looks like a difference. I'm glad I'm going north and south rather than east and west, because his dust cloud is following him, making him pretty hard to see, I would imagine. The sun's set. It's set in a hurry. It's noticeably different harvesting conditions and starting to just get a little tough. We've only got a couple of rounds left over there, so we're gonna finish this up, and I would like to at least open the ends up on the other side. I want to get the equipment out of here because we're gonna start planting wheat here first thing in the morning. So not having the combine sitting in this field would be good, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get a lot done over there, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. It is about that time, though, where we need to hit this button. That button? No. That button? No. What do I do? Oh, this button. There it is. I forgot how to turn the lights on. It is amazing just how quickly conditions change. We're doing the last kind of wedge piece shaped here, so a partial pass, but I've had to slow way down. Our losses are way up. Bar graphs on the bottom there, and look at how much different my settings are. Well, that's changing again. That was down to 540. This is clear down to 8. We had it set at, I think, 16, 18 earlier, the concave clearance. It's just it's really interesting to me that the cameras are working and the auto maintain feature is it's seeing this, not liking it, so it's trying to adjust settings to make that better while maintaining grain quality, and it's working. I mean, for the most part. It's taken a little while to kind of react, but our grain sample still looks pretty good. I wonder if we got more in tailings now. Haven't shown a lot in tailings the whole time, and we're still not really running that much, but I would think you'd be able to see a little more in that one. Anyway, we're about done with this field, and we might run end rows across the road, and I think that's going to be it. Well, got her done. 66.9 acres. It says 77.72. I believe the combine is about 3 bushels low, just based on what I'm seeing from the grain cart and stuff. We'll see what the cart data says after he unloads this here. We got it pretty close on that. The last truckload he loaded, we got a weight written down. He's going to haul that one in the morning, so we'll be able to compare again post-calibration and see if it's closer. But these were dang good beans. All right, we jumped across the road. I'm just going to run these ends off here along this field. We need about 15,000 pounds to fill a semi. I don't know that I'm going to get that off of these ends, but the beans are getting real tough. We're pushing in the middle there. Like that. It's time to quit. I'm just trying to get stuff opened up so we got some room to park the combine and the grain cart over here, not be in the way in the morning, and it would be nice to fill that truck. Might not happen. I cannot get that loss to come down. That's just how tough the beans have gotten. So that's it for today. We're gonna get out here and feel one of the pods, but I bet they don't crack open anymore. That's my problem. They got wet. But we'll unload what we got. and come back tomorrow. Hopefully it's less foggy. We can get started earlier tomorrow. That would be great. It'd be awesome to have a big day. Get over 100 acres done. All right. Well, we got our grain tank covers closed. We set the head down. You have to check the hydraulic oil with the header on the ground. So that's how I park it at night, so we can check that first thing in the morning. So give her a second to cool down here, and we'll get her shut down. Phil's getting the cart unloaded over there, and we'll head home. That's a pretty darn good first day. Get 70 acres done of some dang good beans. That's the best part, is that they're dang good beans. Oh, shoot. Well, let me turn my light on. Can I do that here? Nope. The egress lights on the combine didn't last long enough. Anyway. That one still cracks a little bit. But they are getting... I can feel the wetness on them. See how that one bends instead of cracking open? That's what happens when they get wet. They're getting tough. It'll take a little while for them to soak up enough moisture for the beans to actually be wet, so I expect these to still crack. Not that you can see me, but yeah. The beans are still dry. Well, there's a sight for you. Oh, dang, look at the barn. I just got back here. This is the first I've seen it at night since Dad put the lights in. That looks fantastic. Go around the front so you can see that. Yeah, look at that. That is awesome. Nice work, Dad.